The sinful nature is actually the animal nature, because the humans became bound to the animal when they listened to that voice and they said, yes, we want our own purpose. We don't want to follow the purpose of any God. We want to be gods ourselves. We want to know good and evil. So we want to listen to that voice, and we want to do what that voice is telling us. We want to follow that craving that's being welled up in us, and we want to reach up and grab that thing because it looks good. And so God said, all right, do you want what the animal is offering you? This talking snake, the most cunning of all the animals, most cunning, a representation of the voice of the animals. Do you want to follow that animal instead of following me? Do you want to trust him? Do you want to listen to that animal say, you don't have to trust me, that I'm a liar? Okay, I'll bind you to the animal then. Here you go. And he put the skins of animals on them as an indication of what they looked like at that point to him. He put hides on them, animal skins, what they became. Before you didn't look like the animals, now you do, because I bound you to them. And now, what are you? You are just like them because you share the same nature. The nature that is driven by instinct and by fear and by the need and craving to survive. That's your fundamental nature here from now on out. And here you go. You wanted that, so I'm giving that to you. Now you're bound to the animals. And this tree of life that you could have eaten from if you would have trusted me, I am going to put in front of it an angel with a flaming sword. You'll never get to it now. You can't get to it because you're something different now. You're not good. You're not inherently good. You're evil because you're all about accomplishing your own purpose all the time. And you're all about not wanting to accomplish my purpose, not wanting to do my will, which is not some frivolous thing that gets bantered about by idiots who have no idea what that really is. To do God's will, do God's will. Oh, do God's will. You got to do God's will. So the way things are with God isn't about abstract religious ideas that don't make any sense, which is what religion espouses. That you have to understand and then conform in your thinking to these ideas that don't make any sense, that can't make sense because they go against what's naturally inside you. What's naturally inside every human is this feeling of inherent goodness. Every one of the humans, no matter what they are and who they are, is driven by this feeling that they are inherently good, and it's for a purpose. It's so that they will thrive, so that they will survive. If they didn't feel like they were good inherently, foundationally, they wouldn't think that it's worth surviving. But it creates a problem. It doesn't create a problem for the animals, for the humans as animals, living and dying and never understanding anything about God. it is what religion is based on. It is the promise of religion. It's what religion and the religious leaders, the marketing experts, it's what they promise to those who will give them that valuable currency of the agreement that they seek. What they promise is that those who give them that currency of agreement, of agreeing that they are correct, will be able to survive forever. And it's key to the animal because the animal is in this dilemma. The dilemma is that even though I'm alive now, eventually I'm going to die. So I need to figure out how to overcome the natural order. I need to figure out how to not die. So, if I can live my life as this animal and do my purpose and do my will, and then when I'm dead, be raised up and taken to this fantastic, extraordinary heaven where I will live forever in this great place, that seems like the best thing to do. And it plays on the fear. It alleviates the fear in the animal, naturally in there, because man is bound to the animals. Think of the wild animals. What are they doing all the time? They're eating and sleeping and figuring out how to survive. You walk up to a wild animal, it runs away because it senses danger, and the tiniest little sense of any kind of danger, and it's gone because it wants to survive, 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 survive. Man has the same nature. Humankind has the same nature. Humankind is just more complex, so that humankind is able to figure out ways of hiding that fear, because that's a shameful thing to expose. Everyone is driven by this fear that's inside them. And just like the wild animals, if they sense some danger, they hide. They run away. They go away. They do everything they can except for being honest and facing. And the human animals know how to build walls to hide behind so that they don't have to expose themselves for what they really are. The wild animals in the forest, they're not that complex. They're driven in a kind of a raw way, in sort of this raw form of this animal nature. It's a good picture of what humans are. Just conceive in your mind of the wild animal, a deer in the forest, and what happens? It runs away. If you walk up, anything walks up that might be any sort of danger to it, it goes away. It runs, it hides. But that's exactly what men do. That's exactly what women do. Humankind does. But humankind's more complex, so it understands ways of building walls to hide behind, so that nature doesn't ever even have to come out. And it plays in this conspiracy with each other, where they all are able to do it, and they all accept how they do it. And they all accept the modes and the ways that they create these walls to be able to hide behind. And there are all kinds of different ways to do it.